Thank you very much, the Honorable Minister for Information and his able deputy, the Coordinating Director of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, and directors of the ministry. I acknowledge any directors from the Ministry of Information. Also, I see here Mr. Kweku Sechiado. Acknowledge members of the media. Ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you for meeting with us this afternoon here. I know Sundays are for rest, but you've taken time out of the one day that you are allowed to rest to come here because of this very important matter. Since the Russian Federation and Belarus started military operations in Ukraine on the 24th of February 2022, hundreds of lives have been lost through bombardments. Normal life in Ukraine has also been disrupted for the rest of its citizens, including for those of our compatriots living in Ukraine. The government of Ghana remains concerned for the safety and security of our people currently in Ukraine. As you will recall, Ghana, in her capacity as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, had supported calls and efforts to dissuade the Russian Federation from using force to address what it said were its security concerns related to the NATO expansion. We encouraged dialogue and peaceful resolution of the differences between Russia and other parties. We also warned of the humanitarian consequences of any conflict. With the security and safety of our compatriots in mind, we actively monitored the massing of over 100,000 Russian and Belarusian troops on the borders of Ukraine. Like the rest of the world, we accepted the word of Russia that they would or they did not intend to attack Ukraine. On 24th of February 2022, we were stunned by news of the bombardment and invasion of Ukraine by the Russian Federation. I would like to state at the outset that Ghana will continue to unreservedly condemn this unprovoked attack on the sovereignty and territorial integrity of a United Nations member state, and we call on the withdrawal of Russia and the end of the war. We also would like to state that Russia bears responsibility for the security and safety of our citizens, Ghanaian citizens, and we call on her leadership to respect humanitarian law. Government is determined to ensure the security and safety of all our citizens in Ukraine. The ongoing military operations have put the lives of our compatriots in danger, and we have called on Russia to end the war and withdraw. Members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Ghana's interest in Ukraine. Relations between our two countries have been steady, and in 2021, the government of Ghana granted approval to the Ukrainian government to establish a resident diplomatic mission in Ghana in accordance with Article 2 of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations of 1961. There are economic and trade ties between our two countries, with major exports from Ghana, including manganese, aluminium ore, and cocoa powder, whereas there are major imports into Ghana from Ukraine, including iron bars and cold-rolled iron. Practical steps were underway to further enhance our relations. However, the current crisis is bound to affect, for now at least, any meaningful strategic outcomes. Effects of the crisis on Ghanaian nationals in Ukraine. Following the attacks on Ukraine, the latter closed its airspace to civilian flights. The country is considered a high risk to flight safety due to the use of weaponry and military equipment. Also, the European Union Aviation Safety Agency has warned the risk in flying in the airspace near to Ukraine's border, including Russia. Ghanaian students, like all foreigners, including our compatriots in Ukraine, have therefore found themselves in a very precarious situation. Consequently, based on the overall objective of government to ensure the safety of our citizens in the ongoing crisis, directives were immediately issued to 5 of our relevant diplomatic missions in Europe, as well as our honorary consulate in. Let me state categorically that although most of the students went there on their own, government has a responsibility to all of them to ensure their safety, and that we will do. Following the closure of Ukrainian airspace, it had become a challenge to airlift our compatriots from Kyiv and other parts of the country, thus leaving the only viable option of evacuation by land to neighboring countries such as Moldova, Poland, Romania, Slovakia, Hungary, and the Czech Republic. Consequently, my ministry, collaborated with the Ghana diplomatic missions in Bern, Switzerland, Prague, Czech Republic, Ankara in Turkey, and the Vatican, Holy See, and also Ghana's honorary consuls in Ukraine, Hungary, Romania, as well as Ghanaian communities and student unions in Poland, Hungary, and Romania to facilitate the evacuation of our nationals after being conveyed from Ukraine by road to the closest borders of the European countries mentioned earlier. May I therefore add that information received indicates that there are still 3 cities in Ukraine where students cannot be evacuated from due to the high-risk situation identified there, as reported by our honorary consul. These cities are Kharkov, the hotspots on the way, Sumy, also hotspots on the way, and Dnipropetrovsk, which is experiencing a complete lockdown. Another challenge which our compatriots are faced with is the fear of crossing at borders close to Russia for obvious reasons. We had requested our diplomatic mission in Moscow to assist with their passage, as it will be unreasonable and dangerous to now start looking for another border to access. Unfortunately, there are reports of incursions at the border called Sumy, which has posed a challenge for about 85 of our compatriots who sought to exit that side of Ukraine into Russia. I'm not saying that they have been attacked or anything. It's just that the situation there makes it quite difficult for them to cross. Steps taken. Ladies and gentlemen, we can confirm that an unknown number of Ghanaian students are reported to have left Ukraine a week or so ago following our Bern mission's advice as the situation was getting dire. Many of them are back here at home in Ghana. So they left early before the situation got very bad. The Ghana mission to Ben issued the statement below, which is also available on our Twitter handle. And I quote, "The government of Ghana has noted with grave concern the security and safety of our nationals, including the over 1,000 students in Ukraine following the Russian military operations across in that country. We urge our nationals to limit their movements in public places as they obtain adequate essential goods and remain in their homes or move to government places of shelter. Please be assured that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, this, as well as this diplomatic mission, and also our honorary consul, are all directly engaged with the relevant authorities in Ukraine to ensure your safety and security." End of quote. Furthermore, officials of the ministry held a meeting with the leadership of the Ghana and Ukrainian nukes to brainstorm on the way forward, including plans of evacuation. A list of our students was compiled to facilitate a government-facilitated evacuation. And this information of a possible evacuation was conveyed to the students through our relevant diplomatic missions, also through our honorary consul resident in Kyiv, and also the student leaders to prepare them for the exercise. Having assessed the situation, the students commenced movement by road to the various borders where officials of Ghana's relevant diplomatic missions and honorary consuls are on standby to facilitate their passage into countries such as Romania, Poland, and Hungary. We need to appreciate the fact that coordinating evacuations in a vast country such as Ukraine with students and Ghanaians spread all over the country comes with difficulties, especially with restricted movement due to curfews and lockdowns. Officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration have held productive meetings with diplomats of the Russian and Turkish embassies in Accra to discuss the pathway to an incident-free evacuation exercise. Just this morning, I spoke to an official of the Ukrainian embassy in Abuja. They have concurrent accreditation to Ghana. And I told them about the difficulties some of our compatriots, especially the male students, are facing in their attempt to cross into neighboring countries. Both meetings resulted in an agreement to facilitate passage of our compatriots should the need arise. Other meetings were held with officials of the Scholarship Secretariat and a Ghanaian security institution, all in a bid to promote multi-stakeholder engagement towards a successful evacuation of our people. The ministry has requested 5 European countries bordering Ukraine, and they are Moldova, Poland, Hungary, Romania, and Slovakia, to facilitate easy passage into their countries by our citizens. Fortunately, the government of Moldova has officially indicated its willingness to facilitate the passage of foreign nationals based on a structured exercise. Steps are being taken to secure the contact numbers of parents or guardians of our students to enable the ministry engage them as we seek to ensure the safety of our compatriots and allay their fears. Let me say that we will be meeting. We've sent out, Matilda, have we sent out a notice, a general notice out to parents and guardians of all the students to meet us at the Accra International Conference Center on Tuesday at 1 o'clock, so we can have some engagement with them. Let me also say that some of the concrete outcomes include the dispatch of officials from our missions to various border countries to assist our people when they cross into neighboring countries. Due to the effective collaboration with the Hungarian authorities, the government of Ghana has secured passage through Hungary on a visa-free basis for Ghanaian students who are in possession of Ghanaian passports. We are told the Hungarian government is also providing coordinated assistance to enable our nationals reach airports in Budapest or Debrecen. The government of Ghana is grateful to the Hungarian government. This effective collaboration has also led to the Romanian government according us a warm reception. As is the case in humanitarian exercises, women and children have been given priority. The government of Ghana is equally grateful to the government of Romania for its philanthropic gesture. Indeed, the goodwill displayed by these friendly countries is a testament to the sound bilateral relations that exist between us and also the goodwill that Ghana enjoys among the Committee of Nations. We call on other friendly nations to extend similar assistance to our compatriots. So far, official information indicates the following. As at midday, today, 27th of February, information gathered was that about over 460 students have left Ukraine en route to Poland, Hungary, Romania, Slovakia, and Czech Republic. The students will be received by officials of our diplomatic missions, honorary consuls, and officials of the Students' Union or associations. We are pleased to provide the breakdown of those who have exited Ukraine as follows. 132 have arrived in Bucharest, Romania, and our officer on the ground is preparing tickets for some of them to leave tomorrow to Accra. Reason why I say some of them is because the distance between the holding area and the city itself is, I'm told, over 500 kilometers. Am I correct? And so some of them are on their way to the city. At the moment, he has with him 24 of them who are at the airport, and he's trying to get them on Qatar Airways to Accra. Some are being processed at the holding area, and I'm told about 60 of them are going through border formalities. So they're on the other side of the Ukraine border, going through border formalities to get into Romania. 38, having crossed into Poland, are with our officials. We are currently also making arrangements for those who are willing to be assisted to get on flights. 25 persons en route to Prague from Slovakia were assisted by the honorary consul and will be received on entry by the mission in Prague. 25 just this morning arrived in Hungary and are being sheltered at the Pentecostal Church in Budapest. 85 of our compatriots are being assisted by our embassy in Moscow to cross the border town of Sumy into Russia, which I indicated earlier is creating or pose serious difficulties. The crossing is quite a difficult task at the moment. Our officials from the Moscow embassy are doing all they can to get them to cross so that we can also assist them onto flights to Accra. These numbers are bound to increase in a few days as we observe the team spirit being displayed by our people, our citizens, our students. They are reaching out to each other, setting up group WhatsApp chats, sharing important phone numbers of consular officers and other personalities who could be of assistance, and also the cascading effects of the initiatives. A most gratifying and heartwarming message, such as "we are safe now," I've received several, could not have come at a better time. We hope for better days as the ministry further engages our diplomatic missions and honorary consulates to extend consular assistance to our compatriots. Ghana has also put in place the necessary package to facilitate transportation, accommodation, feeding, medical support, flights, etc., to ease any burden on our people. With all the collaborative efforts, I'm pleased to inform you that a good number, over 220 of our compatriots, have exited Ukraine and should be with us in Ghana soon, and we are earnestly facilitating the safe return of a lot more. We wish to use this platform to debunk the unsubstantiated reports, such as alleging that a bus or a train conveying some Ghanaians to the eastern part of Ukraine was shot at. These are delicate times. Let us all endeavor to steer clear of sensationalism and unconfirmed reports. These only serve to heighten tensions at these times. We have parents, family, and friends of these students, of Ghanaians, who are stuck in a war situation. And the least we can do is not to play politics or to be sensational with news that is not confirmed. It's just not right. It is not right. It is not right. We must stop it. This is such a sensitive matter. I can assure you that our diplomatic missions in Bern, Ankara, Prague, Moscow, and the Vatican are working around the clock in a coordinated manner to secure the safety at all times of our citizens and our evacuation and their evacuation. I have ordered, as I said earlier, the dispatch of officers of some of our diplomatic missions to meet with our citizens who are being evacuated to facilitate the processes and handle any outstanding challenges. Together we can do this, I assure you. Let me say that our officials are not on the Ukraine side of the border, but they are waiting at the receiving end of the countries. So countries such as Hungary, Slovakia, Poland, Hungary, our officials are there. And those who have been able to cross are in the custody, so to speak, of our officials. Let me say that the frustration for many of the students is the fact that there are so many thousands of people trying to cross over into these countries, and therefore, in some cases, it's taking them a couple of days, 3 days even, in the bad weather to be able to cross, go through the formalities to cross into the countries where they can then be assisted. I'd use this medium to express gratitude to our missions and our honorary consuls who are working closely with the ministry to ensure the desired outcomes. I'd also like to thank all those who have offered various forms of assistance. We have religious bodies and student groups. They are all working together with government in an outstanding demonstration of support for a cause which requires a wholehearted commitment and the fact that it is necessary for us to show unity of purpose. Thank you for your attention.